Hey, I'm Dave, and you're listening to Hopcast. That is the podcast for Heroes of Play. This is our first episode. Tonight, I've got Pete and Tam joining me. Hey, guys.
Hello.
How's it going?
All right, so we're doing an E3 show for our first one. So that makes it pretty easy for us. We've got plenty to talk about when it comes to E3. Hopefully, this won't go too long. We'll keep it short and sweet, straight to the point. So it's been a week since E3. I think that's a good amount of time to jump into a podcast. You know, we've let it all settle in. Now we can have proper thoughts that aren't hype influenced, if that makes sense. You know, so, sometimes after you've just watched a conference, you're like, oh, that was the best thing ever. I need this game. And then a week later, you forget about half the games. So I want to start this off we'll get into the games later. I want to start off by asking you guys, how did you rate E3 this year? Score it out of 10.
Can we do no sevens?
Can we do no sevens? What?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did this thing where you can't rate it a 7 because it's like everyone wants to rate something a 7 because it's kind of like the nice thing to do.
Okay, no sevens.
What a no sevens, cool.
All right, go Pete.
I'd give it a 6 because like there was nothing apart from Mario Odyssey. There was nothing that really grabbed me.
You watched all the conferences, didn't you? Basically.
I skimmed Bethesda and Sony, but I watched the rest. There was just nothing that was coming this year that I really wanted to see. And I think our expectations for E3 have gone up in the last couple of years, like so much, because it's gotten so much better. But I just think, like, compared to the last couple of years, it wasn't as strong. But that's not to say that there weren't a lot of good games as well.
Yeah, I'd give it about a 6.5 because I've been...
All right.
7.
Yeah, I have low expectations when it comes to E3 these days because the last couple of years I've been quite disappointed. So I thought there was a number of surprises I enjoyed. Otherwise, I thought a lot of the conferences were unremarkable. I watched about half of them live, and honestly, I can't really tell you much about a lot of them anymore. So there wasn't anything really memorable, but I thought it was solid. I enjoyed it more than last year.
I'd give it a 7, but I'm not allowed to give it a 7, so I'll give it a
right.
6.5 like Tam. Yeah, I completely agree with what you guys are saying. Our expectations have gone up a bit just because E3 has dropped off. You know, we're always talking about, is E3 still relevant? Do we need this every year? You know, they need to make it really big for us to get on the hype train every year. Yeah, I was reasonably impressed with what we saw from the big three, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. I skimmed the others, didn't catch any of them live, but I think there were still a couple of announcements in there that were good, but overall those three probably didn't need to be at E3 this year. Yeah, I think there was enough there, and I really don't understand how some people are now criticizing that. I want to know what you guys think about this, because people are now saying, you know, they're going a bit cheap with the conferences, that it's just trailer after trailer after trailer. Go, like, rewind 2 or 3 years. That's all we wanted. We just wanted lots and lots of games, one after another. We didn't want the long, drawn-out conferences with all the hardware, and we didn't get any of that this year. We didn't have any virtual reality push, really. We didn't have the HoloLens. We didn't have any 3D or any other gimmicky stuff. It was just all about the game. So
Didn't have the Vita.
Never does have the Vita. There was actually one Vita announcement that slid under the radar, and that was Undertale is coming to PS4 and PS Vita. Sony couldn't obviously announce that in their conference because then they would have to acknowledge that the Vita still exists. So, yeah, I think we're all on the same page. It was a solid E3, definitely not the worst, but could have been better.
I'd say people are just getting tired of like trailers, like trailer after trailer. Like before,
See, yeah, I know, but like
people want what's different.
That's what people wanted.
Yeah.
No, people want trailer after trailer, but they want new announcements of those trailers. They want things like Shenmue 3 and Last Guardian and Final Fantasy 7 again.
And
But
you
of
can't
course
have E3s like that every year
No.
because Sony did that last year, and we didn't. All we got this year was those same games again because they're still a fair way off. You can't have that E3 every year.
Precisely, but that's what people. So it's a bit of a quandary because people complain, oh, it's just trailer after trailer, it's boring, but that's what they want. It's just it's not. They aren't upset about the trailer after trailer. They're upset about the announcements, I think.
All right, moving on. Did you guys watch any of the pre or post E3 shows? The pre ones would have basically just been hosted through Twitch, YouTube Gaming, that sort of thing. The post ones I'm talking about, like Nintendo Treehouse, Xbox Daily, and I forget what the PlayStation one's called, if it even has a name. Did you guys catch any of those? Were they any good?
Well, yeah, I watched Treehouse live, but I've been watching that for the last couple of years since they started it. I thought that was it's what Treehouse always is like. I think they have the formula down. They show games, they have developers there to talk to them. It's much better than when they used to get developers up on stage. And I watched a bit of the YouTube gaming post shows when they interviewed various developers and that sort of thing. That was alright. Nothing outstanding though.
I saw a little bit of Treehouse, like just the demonstrations, like that I wanted to see. I didn't watch it live. I just think a lot of the announcements in those kind of things should be in the conference, especially for Nintendo, who had like what a 20-minute video, 25-minute video, which didn't have that many games. Like it just wasn't that like exciting to me, apart from the end trailer. I just think if you included like Metroid Samus Returns and
I'd
Mario and
argue
Luigi
that those 3DS games don't really look good in like a proper presentation though.
Exactly.
That is true. Yeah.
That they were actually better announced in the Treehouse where you could actually see them being played and see what they were like before jumping to conclusions based on a trailer of a 3DS game. Trailers for 3DS games never look good, so
Exactly. And it's a sort of damned if you do, damned if you don't, because otherwise people would complain that they're spending too much time on 3DS in the conference. No one wants a 3DS anymore. That sort of thing.
That is true.
yeah, the Treehouse was the only one I caught, and I only caught the first night before I fell asleep. They were always on way too late. I enjoyed the little announcements here and there, and I liked getting to see more of those Switch games that were announced. So, yeah, overall, that was a good one. I didn't catch the others. The only other pre or post show that I caught was Devolvers. I don't know if you guys saw that one, and that was
I saw you post it, but I didn't watch it.
all kinds of bizarre.
That was weird.
I had to force myself to stop watching, but I was enjoying it at the start, and then it just got weird.
I stopped watching it after they did the fake conference.
It just kept going, and it was.
I know they were just on a
still
couch
good.
playing games and like really lame jokes and things, and I was like, this is what they tried to make.
So
PC.
much cringe.
It was like what they tried to do with the PC Gamer Show the first year, when they had like a talk show format, and they really hammed it up.
I haven't even included PC Gaming Show in this list that I've made up for topics to talk about. Did you guys
Good.
watch that at all?
I did.
No.
Was it good?
I watched it live. I had it on.
Oh,
It was
wow.
alright.
It always goes so long, and it's just all hardware, and
No, there was one good announcement, so I was happy.
which was
Age of Empires Definite Edition. Yes, it's a remaster of a 20-year-old game, but it was a great announcement.
okay. I'll take your word for it. All right. I think we actually covered the next question a little bit before, but just a quick yes, no. Is E3 still relevant for you guys?
Yeah, for sure.
I stayed up and watched conferences, so I have to say yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's an easy answer for us. Okay. Who won E3, if anyone did win?
It's a hard one this year because I don't think anyone really did amazingly.
Smashed it? Yeah.
I think Ubisoft always have a good conference, and they did really well for like what they are. I'm gonna say Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
I'm going to agree with Pete and say Ubisoft.
I didn't actually get to watch Ubisoft, and now I feel like I've missed out.
Because
But I caught the announcements. You're right. Like they're solid every year, and I really like their format of, a hype trailer followed by a quick demonstration. It's always for every new announcement, like there's some beef to it, so you actually get to properly find out about the new games.
Yeah, and they don't waffle on. It's like, it's very much like this is something that people want to know about, and then they don't like stay on the stage for too long.
It's still short and snappy enough.
Yeah.
But yeah. Look, from the ones I saw, probably Nintendo, just because I think they may have won me over with a Switch. Fanboy. Look, from the conversations I've had with you, Pete, you should know that I'm definitely not on the Nintendo train at the moment. I've been very anti-Switch. Yeah, I have, and that's not like me. But
I think once you get one, you'd be like, I'm back on.
Yeah, possibly. So yeah, from the ones I saw, I'd have to say Nintendo. All right, so back to those smaller ones though, like Ubisoft and EA and Bethesda. Do these guys still need conferences? Which one was better? Well, I think you already answered that. You both said Ubisoft was the winner of E3. Yeah, do they still need conferences?
I'd say Ubisoft does, because unlike the other publishers, Ubisoft actually has a wide range of games. They always seem to be releasing like at least 4 or 5 games a year in a diverse category of genres as well. They have shooters, they have adventure games, they have RPGs, they have their dancing, whatever you want to call Just Dance with pandas or what pandas and Raiden and it was pandas and Sub-Zero, but whatever that was, they have it all. Whereas EA has sports games and Battlefront. Bethesda had nothing this year really. Oh, they had Skyrim, guys. Skyrim's still there.
I'm sick of seeing Skyrim. Yeah, speaking of Nintendo fanboys, God, did they get excited for Zelda costumes in Skyrim? That's not a reason to buy a 5-year-old game.
Especially since there's PC mods that allow you to do that properly anyway.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think EA and Bethesda needed conferences this year, which I think we'd all agree on. No. But last year I had no problem with the 3 of them. I think they all brought a little bit of something. Maybe EA was still the weakest, but yeah.
I think Wolfenstein looked really good. But
that looked excellent, but that was the one game they had.
Yeah.
Oh, and Evil Within 2 for Bethesda.
But they could have split them between like Sony and Microsoft, for example.
EA, their biggest game was Anthem, and Microsoft had that, so there really was no point for their conference this year.
It was mostly
the same games.
Yeah, Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah, people go crazy for it.
But that could have been shown in Sony's or Microsoft's as well.
Yeah, instead they spent 40 minutes of their conference on Battlefront.
Yeah.
That was a weird decision. Though I really like a look of A Way Out though. So
A Way Out is so good.
Yeah, EA have been doing well with at least having like one cool new indie title to show off. It's not indie because like EA are publishing it, but you know what I mean.
They have one game.
They have one game.
The developer for that was so good as well.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, trust me, my game is this game is awesome.
My game is amazing.
Please trust me, this is amazing. And like, if you watch the video again, he gets his surname wrong. He corrects himself when he introduces it. He says, "Oh yeah, my name is such and such," and he like quickly repeats himself.
How do you get your surname wrong? All right. What were the biggest announcements for Ubisoft then? I caught the Mario Rabbids. Yeah, Rabbids. That actually looks better than everyone thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I'm keen.
Tam, I think you'd be a fan of it, wouldn't you? Because you like your XCOM, and it seems to be that type of game, yeah?
Yeah, I'll be buying it. I was really surprised by the game, because when I first heard the rumors, I didn't expect that I'd be buying that game, but I think I will be. It looks great. That's probably the biggest surprise out of E3 for me.
Pete, was your favorite from Ubisoft Mario and Rabbids, or were there any other games?
It was. I'd say that got me really hyped. And then also the pirate game. I've forgotten what it's called. It's something bad. Skull and Bones.
It's got a bad... Yeah, that's a bad
Skull
name,
and
but it looks
Stones.
interesting.
Skull and Bones.
Skull
I don't
and
know what it's
Bones.
called. Is that right?
Skull and Bones.
I get it.
It
I
is.
get it because like the pirate flag has a skull and bones on it, but
It's the most generic name for a pirate game ever.
yeah, it's bad. It's bad, but it's something to rival Sea of Thieves. And I think we might be seeing more pirate games. That might be the next, big craze after zombies. I think we're all over zombies at this point. There's still a couple zombie games trickling in, but might move on to pirates.
So you're saying zombie pirates?
Not zombie pirates, just pirates.
Yeah, I think
Nah,
zombie
someone
pirates
will
is the
definitely do
big
zombie
thing.
pirates. I can see that as well. Okay.
Oh, and they had Beyond Good and Evil, of course, but that was just a CG trailer.
Oh, yeah. No, but that's like a huge announcement for them, really, because everyone thought that game was dead. That's never going to be shown again.
But the issue is it was just CG. It's probably like 4 years away.
Yeah. Oh, maybe even longer. But I did really like the trailer for it. I'm excited to see more of that. Okay. Now that we've got those three out the way, we'll quickly move on to Microsoft. We all saw Microsoft's conference, yeah?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. What was the biggest announcement?
That you can play Xbox original games on the Xbox One.
You're probably not wrong.
Like,
that was one of their best announcements.
But seriously, that's the only thing I can remember of that conference. I wasn't too impressed.
Anthem was shown, which looked good, I guess. I don't know.
It's
have
multi-platform though.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
And it's great how they had the phoned in voice chat when they're showing the gameplay. I always love that in the demonstrations. It was just like, hey Max, look over there. We got to kill those guys.
Yeah, it's still not as worse as some of the voice chats in the Ubisoft games.
Yeah,
I
Tom
remember Rainbow
Clancy's.
Six Siege, and
The Division.
they were terrible.
The Division ones were the best.
Yeah. I think Microsoft's possibly biggest game moving forward could be Sea of Thieves, but it could also be really shit. I'm still skeptical, as I was when I first saw it, because like what's left of Rare, I'm not sure if there's enough there to make a great game.
Yeah.
We all know a lot of the Rare developers moved on. They went on to make Yooka-Laylee and whatnot, and some have moved on to other projects. But yes, Sea of Thieves, it's a good concept. Is it 5v5 or am I thinking of Skull and Bones now?
No, it's 5v5.
It is 5v5, yeah.
I think Skull and Bones is like 1v1. You have your own ship.
No.
Yeah, I think you have your own ship. Whereas I think I think that's the difference between the games. Whereas I might be wrong, but I know Sea of Thieves you have to cooperate. You have to cooperate when you're controlling the ship. Like one person's steering and one person has to navigate. Like when you're steering, you actually can't see where the ship's going.
I like the idea of it. I'm not sure if is the world going to be big enough? Is there going to be enough to actually do together?
I thought Sea of Thieves
Sorry?
was more like MMO-y, like not.
It is kind of.
Okay.
It's hard to explain that game.
Because I think there is like player versus player, but there's also player versus environment.
Okay.
There's like zombie things they were fighting in the trailer.
Right. Makes sense.
It's about searching for treasure or something. I don't really know.
Apart from that, I struggle to remember what was shown in Microsoft's. I know they have Crackdown 3 coming. I'm not really big on that series, but
they had Assassin's Creed Origins, which is actually they showed more of Assassin's Creed than Ubisoft did in their press conference.
So that was a repeat showing. Yeah, Microsoft just had a lot of multi-platform games, and it just wasn't a strong enough showing for. I guess the biggest announcement, even though we don't consider it the biggest announcement, was the Xbox One X, previously known as the Scorpio. And
I think the bigger announcement is that you can attach every single Xbox iteration together to each other and play LAN games.
that's a thing. I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, that apparently an Xbox can connect to a 360, and can connect to an Xbox One, and can connect to an Xbox One X, and they can play original Xbox games LAN. Is what I got sense of. I don't know why you want to do this.
That's crazy.
Apparently you can do it.
That's insane.
But yeah, you guys aren't interested in an Xbox One X, are you?
No.
I don't have
No.
it. I don't have a normal Xbox One, so I don't even
I
have a
might
4K TV.
I might pick up an S or an old one if they get cheap, but only for like
The price is the killer. It's $650 here. And
Yeah, there's no
a
way
lot
I'm
of people
paying
would
that.
probably spend the extra couple hundred to build a PC, and they can play all those games anyway.
Yeah.
That's the real kicker. They really don't have any exclusives anymore, as long as you have Windows 10.
There was no game that jumped out and said, you know, you're going to want to own an Xbox One X to play this game, because you could just get it on PC. They're all coming to Windows 10.
And that's been their issue for the entire generation, I think. There hasn't been any system seller for the Xbox One.
Yeah. They're definitely struggling against Sony, and I can see the Xbox One X struggling against the Pro just as much as the Xbox One against the PS4. Was there anything else noteworthy? Not really.
No.
I think we
can
we
remember.
touched on the important stuff from Microsoft. It's hard to remember. Oh, actually, the first game they opened with, again, multi-platform, but the new Metro title, that looked alright.
That looked
yeah.
quite good. Exodus, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Okay.
They showed the Porsche.
Don't get me started on the Porsche. You don't bring a car to E3. You don't use a racing game to demonstrate a new console's power.
But they unveiled the car for the first time.
No.
Oh, they have that. They have that Lucky
Yeah.
Tales game.
Yes,
Yeah, that platformer?
Lucky's Tale,
Yeah.
Super Lucky's Tale.
which was
That's basically Mario.
was it a VR title?
Well,
It
so
was,
Oculus
yeah,
Rift?
originally.
Lucky's Tale was an Oculus Rift launch title. Now this is Super Lucky's Tale, which is an Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive. I don't know why.
Oh, and Minecraft is in 4K now. Not that anyone would actually want to play that in 4K. It looks worse in 4K.
But it has cross-play with PC and Switch.
That's actually pretty good. Yeah,
Which is a pretty cool
the
announcement.
crossplay. That's a win for Switch with such a small install base to have crossplay for games like Minecraft and Rocket League.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They just need Sony to come to the table now.
Okay, let's move on to Sony then. The biggest announcements, we already touched on the fact that a lot of the games we saw were repeats from last year. So maybe let's start with the ones that weren't.
I can only think of
if you
one.
guys can think of them. Yeah?
Shadow of the Colossus, which is a
Yeah,
remake.
Oh, yeah.
That was a surprise announcement because I hadn't really been following rumors or anything like that. I don't know if it was rumored.
And Monster Hunter.
Yeah, Shadow of the Colossus
Oh
remake.
yes, yeah, Monster Hunter World, of course.
Monster Hunter World is looking pretty good. I'm excited for Monster Hunter to come back to home console because I actually did play Monster Hunter 3 on Wii U, and then I didn't like the controls for 3DS. I couldn't get a grasp on them. Wasn't willing to fork out the money at the time, and hopefully learn to adjust to those controls. So I'm all for it coming back to home console, and it's a bit of a win for Sony to get that back.
Yeah, they've
Most
done well.
definitely.
Any other big announcements, you guys?
Spider-Man was
noticed?
big. I think
I wasn't really impressed.
It looks like Arkham with the combat and everything.
It's Arkham with QuickTime events.
I
Yeah,
think
the
they could have
QuickTime
held
events.
off
No one
announcing
likes
that
QuickTime
last year.
events. Yeah, they probably should have held back on some of the announcements from last year.
Because they kind of
They could
smashed last
show-
year,
They did, yeah.
and they didn't need to.
Yeah, because games like Days Gone, Spider-Man, they're still like a year off. At
Yeah.
least.
I liked the look
Detroit.
of Days Gone more this time around than last time. I didn't didn't fancy it at all last time. I was confused with what they were going for because it was like a Last of Us type thing at the start, and then suddenly he's mowing down zombies.
Yeah, it was like a zombie horde mode last year when he was like, I remember they were climbing up a barn and there's just like hundreds of zombies coming through.
And there still looks to be a lot of zombies, but yeah, no, I liked what we saw of it anyway. The gameplay, story, looks better.
I just thought of a new announcement. They announced that Final Fantasy fishing game.
Oh yeah.
There were a bunch of PlayStation VR titles, and none of them really stood out as good VR games. I think that Moss game probably looks the most interesting out of them, and then I would prefer to play that without VR. So
yeah, I'm not a fan of VR, so none of that really ever interests me.
I'm trying to remember the other ones. Final Fantasy Fishing was just awful.
They took the worst part of Final Fantasy 15. One of the worst parts. It's like, let's make it into a full game.
There's another horror game which suits the VR, but I would never touch that. I'm not sure where they're going with VR. I think it might be too early. Like VR is not really ready to take off yet.
Yeah, you might be
and
right.
Maybe them trying to push it too hard is just going to kill it before it's even there, before it even becomes a thing that people want.
But I guess it's the kind of thing they have to lay the groundwork. They have to push it a bit, get some games on it.
It's better than what they're doing with the Vita, where they're just like, doesn't exist, you know?
Yeah, that is true. So,
and they showed Skyrim VR, I think.
Skyrim VR.
Yeah, because Skyrim was at Bethesda, Sony, and Nintendo.
And it's not even an update for Skyrim. It is a standalone Skyrim title.
Oh, it includes all the expansions, all the DLC.
But it's standalone. You have to buy Skyrim again just to play it in VR.
Dave.
Bethesda have lost the plot. What was the biggest disappointment then from Sony? Was it just the fact that we were seeing the same games, or was there a title that really stood out as you kind of liked before and didn't really like now?
For me, the major disappointment is that all the games are 2018 still.
Yeah. We were talking about that just before recording this podcast, and we're going through the release dates. Microsoft, they don't have a lot of exclusives, but they are all coming in 2017 almost. And Sony are still playing catch up. From last year, they announced games that were 3 years away. Now they're 1 or 2 years away. Like, they're still not coming out this year. Their holiday release is going to be Knack 2.
Booyah.
Knack 2.
Yeah, it's a system seller. Well, look at all the consoles Knack sold, Dave. Knack is the reason
Knack's been
the
out
PS4
since
beat
launch.
Xbox One.
Everyone's bought a PS4 because of Knack. That's how that works.
Exactly. System seller.
Come on, guys.
You can't deny it.
Dave,
So,
I'll give
any
you my
other-
copy of Knack.
You can
You
keep
can
it.
have it.
Any other disappointments or anything else you guys wanted to note about Sony's conference?
I
I'm
didn't see
struggling
it.
to remember all the games.
I just found it really unremarkable. There was nothing that really grabbed my attention.
One of you
Yeah.
just mentioned that Detroit Human game before.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still not sold on that game at all. I'm really confused.
See, that's the game I'm most sold on, which is crazy. Probably just because I'm a
Cage
big
and his
fan
crazy
of
ideas.
Heavy
David
Rain.
Cage has one of the worst track records.
Heavy Rain was awesome.
Oh, so you're one of the few people that actually like Heavy Rain?
Yeah.
Lots of people like Heavy Rain, actually, Tam. I'm not one of that. Well, I haven't played it, so I can't really comment.
I know
But-
there's more people that like Heavy Rain than Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah, apparently Beyond Two Souls wasn't that great.
The Ellen Page simulator.
Sorry, we were just talking about release dates, and the other one that's probably noteworthy, and I don't know whether I'm excited for this yet or not. I love the Uncharted series, but
Lost Legacy.
the Lost Legacy, that is coming in August, so that's relatively soon.
Very soon.
Sooner than I thought it would be.
It looks very
So
much
I'm
like
wondering-
Left Behind
Uncharted 4.
was for Last of Us,
Oh, okay, yeah.
the DLC. So it's kind of like
I feel like it's going to be a bit of a cut and paste job of Uncharted 4, just with female characters in it. I don't see them changing the gameplay a whole lot. Obviously, it has to have somewhat of an original story, but maybe it's just like background story of things that are happening. Do we know when it's set?
it's set after A Thief's End.
It is set after Uncharted 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of like a sequel, sort of, but like not official sequel. But
I think people would be more excited to see. Maybe we don't need it straight away, but people would be more excited to see Cassie Drake. That's a bit of a spoiler, sorry, but
You've upset our one listener.
Can I get away with that spoiler? Sure.
well, I think that's their plan for Uncharted 5. That's where they're going with the series.
Yeah.
Whoever takes over. I don't think Naughty Dog will do it again.
I think the other disappointment for me was Death Stranding not being there. Everyone loves seeing Death Stranding. It's weird and bizarre. Yeah, it's just I can't explain that game yet. But
Sean Layden has said he's played it.
Okay. So someone's
the Sony
so it actually exists beyond those weird trailers. There is a playable version of that game.
It's probably alpha as hell, but apparently you can play something.
Okay, are we ready to move on to the Nintendo?
Yeah, let's do it.
Biggest announcements. I'm gonna state the obvious one here. Metroid Prime 4 was easily the biggest announcement from Nintendo. Probably the biggest announcement at V3.
It was a trailer with a number.
It was, but that's all they needed to do. And our friend Zach put up a post on Facebook as he was sharing his thoughts on E3, and I completely agree with him when he said that this was damage control.
Oh, definitely.
This was just controlling that backlash after Federation Force, which we all love. I haven't even played it yet, but I still love it.
Wish you
could. I love it.
And, Tam, do you have it?
Yeah, we never got it.
I don't have it, but I love it.
Oh, okay.
We never got it. Why didn't we get it and play it?
I don't know.
Guys.
I'm gonna see how much it is right now.
It's still like $47 at EB Games, or $36. I went to my EB Games the other day, and they just had a stack of. They had like 10 copies of Federation Force.
Yeah, Metroid Prime 4 being announced. I'm sure that's got a lot of people back on Nintendo's good side. Not just Metro fans, but maybe those that just weren't getting enough exclusives on Nintendo apart from Mario Zelda, and jump to one of the others. So Metroid coming back is great for Nintendo. They need another big IP, one of their forgotten ones. And that wasn't their only Metroid announcement, because as we talked about earlier, the Metroid 2 remake, yes?
Yep.
Samus Returns.
Samus Returns.
Yep, that was announced in the Treehouse, and that looks quite good as well. So, yeah, Metroid fans have plenty to be excited about. What did you guys get excited about most from Nintendo?
Mario Odyssey, for sure. It was my number one game, of all E3, I think.
Mario Odyssey, I already knew that I wanted it, and now I want it more.
Yeah.
And then I had to just turn off the Treehouse for a minute while they were playing Odyssey, just so keep it fresh. Don't want to spoil anything.
The
and
hat
that song,
mechanic. The hat mechanic is brilliant.
Just
capturing. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Capturing. Yeah, capturing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cappy.
It's perfect.
It's very clever. Yeah, that song though. How good is the song?
Yeah, the song's really good too.
Yeah, it's that was one of the. I think that's the best trailer for me. If
Yeah,
we're talking about trailers.
hands down.
For sure.
What were the other big games from Nintendo?
Yoshi?
Xenoblade.
Xenoblade, yeah. Looks alright. The last time we saw this announced, I was worried that they were going too generic anime, you know what I mean? Because Xenoblade did sort of have its distinctive art style, and particularly like the character models, but it looks good. Tam, you've played, Xeno played, haven't you?
Yeah, I've played both games.
You've played both of them, so you're excited for this. You're not skeptical at all.
No, I'm very excited because
But
both of those games are very good. They're very different, but very good.
What were the other titles announced? Okay, there was another damage control announcement, as Zach put it, with a Pokemon RPG title being announced for Switch.
Oh, yeah.
There's no teaser, no trailer, nothing. Just the Pokemon director. I think he's the director of the Pokemon series, confirming they're working on a game for Switch.
Yeah, it was worse than the Metroid announcement.
It was.
It didn't even have a logo.
So
he's just at his desk. It's like he's like drawing Pokemon or something, and he's like, "Oh, I need to give an interview." It's like, "Okay, yeah, oh yeah, Pokken's great. You should buy Pokken." And by the way, we're developing a game for Switch. It won't come out for at least another year, but yeah, it's coming.
I think they doubled their sales for Ultra Sun and Moon just with that little announcement, though, because everyone was getting upset online that they're doing another bloody 3DS game. Why isn't it coming to Switch yet? The Switch install base just isn't there yet. The Pokemon series has never jumped straight to the next one. You'll remember they had Black and White 2 for DS.
For DS,
before 3DS. They didn't go for that straight away. So
and I think the main issue is they can't produce enough Switches to meet supply at demand at the moment.
Yeah,
it's still sold out.
That's a good point.
Like, it's not sold out in Australia. You can pick one up here if you really want to, but everywhere else it's pretty hard to find.
Yeah.
So there's no point for them to because if they're going to release Pokemon, it'd be an October, November game. So they'd have to produce a lot of Switches for that, and Mario as well. They can't do that, so they have to space it out.
That's true.
Other announcements from Nintendo?
Yoshi, Kirby.
Yoshi and Kirby, yeah, they look alright. They look like you'd expect from those series.
It's what you expect. You'll buy them, pick them up, play. You'll enjoy it. It's not really a surprise, but they're still good games.
I think Kirby looks better than Yoshi does.
I prefer to see. Yeah, I don't know. I prefer to see something new for the Kirby series than like a different genre even of Kirby, something different. Give us Kirby Air Ride again, or like Yoshi, they've finally found something that works with Yoshi's Woolly World, and it kind of makes sense that they'll stick with that for at least a little while.
I just don't like the throwing into the background and like the jumping into the background kind of mechanic. It's just like so.
You don't like it?
They've done it so many times before, like with Paper
They've gone
Mario
for
and other types of like 2D games.
Super Paper Mario thing where you flip the world or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
It just seems super like something they've done before and it's safe, and they're just gonna release it because it's safe.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Anything disappointing from Nintendo?
I think their conference was so short that there wasn't really any time for it to be disappointing. We got what we expected, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything disappointing in the conference, but all the amiibo announced afterwards. Goddamn, how many amiibo do we need for every single game?
Hey, Zach owns every amiibo, so you have to be.
I feel for Zach.
You have to
feel for him.
You have to acknowledge that people really like amiibos. There's a market for them.
I acknowledge that people really like amiibos, and there's definitely a market for them, but they are taking advantage of those people that will just buy any amiibo. There is a Goomba amiibo now. Who wants a Goomba amiibo?
I don't understand your hate for the Goomba amiibo.
Goomba.
You're going off in the Discord chat for
Goomba.
you spent like 10 minutes in the Discord chat just typing Goomba.
And rightfully so. Rightfully
Goomba.
So. It's terrible. And of course, Ludi is the one that piped up and said, "Yeah, I'm kind of interested in a Goomba amiibo." Ludi.
I'll buy one and send it to you, Dave.
Please don't.
You'll get it with
I've
the
stopped
copy of
buying
Knack.
amiibo.
You'll get a copy of Knack.
Copy of Knack, Federation
and a Goomba
Force,
amiibo.
and a Goomba amiibo. Merry Christmas,
like
Dave.
It's like that time I gave him Devil's Third for Christmas.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Tam. No,
The
I at least got
servers are
some fun out
down.
of that.
I feel so
I know.
sad.
I'm still sad
Rip
about
in
that.
pieces.
Yeah.
That's the biggest disappointment from E3. No Devil's Fourth. I want Devil's Fourth.
That would be so good. I didn't actually mind Devil's Third. Is that bad?
It's not bad, actually.
Can I say that?
No, we can.
How do we always manage to bring up Devil's Third in every podcast?
Because it was the secret best Wii U game.
It's
It
not even the
was.
same website anymore. We're doing Heroes of Play. This is the first episode, and you have to bring up Devil's Third.
If you really want
tradition.
to, you can cut this out.
Nah, I'll leave it in. Okay, so final thoughts. What is your most anticipated game after E3? Out of everything that we saw.
Mario.
Mario Odyssey?
Yeah.
Yep.
Easily. And A Way Out.
Tam?
A Way Out looks really good.
A Way Out is like a runner-up? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll let you have that.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Thanks, Deb.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Mario Odyssey as well.
Yeah.
With
And a runner-up?
Xenoblade 2 would be the runner-up,
Ah, yeah.
and a third would be Age of Empires Definitive Edition, because I played the game 20 years ago and I want to play it again.
Oh, Jesus. Alright.
How
So do
about
I
you,
get two
Dave?
runner-ups, or should I just let Pete have another runner-up?
Yeah, let him have another runner-up.
Oh, okay. Oh, jeez. You put me on the spot. Oh, Mario Rabbids. It's my third.
Oh, I forgot about that.
You're not allowed to have a fourth one, Tam. Okay.
That's Tam's fourth.
Can I have a fifth one?
Can I have a fourth one now that Tam has a fourth?
Can I say my most anticipated game now?
Yeah, you go, Dave.
Fine.
Alright. Mario Odyssey. Yeah, easy. So we're all anticipating the most. We're almost anticipating the same game, which is kind of disappointing as anticlimactic end to this podcast. But yeah, how can you not like Mario Odyssey? Everyone's been waiting for another 3D Mario, so that's the clear winner for me. Second most anticipated would probably be God of War. We didn't get to talk about that, but I know not everyone else is excited about the new God of War, but I am, because they're going for more of a story-based approach. I might actually give two shits about Kratos now. He's just always been this angry guy, and I never related to him. Didn't really care to play the God of War games much. I've played one of them, which was God of War 3. Yeah, I'm excited to see more of that. It did look really good this time around. We didn't get to see much at all last year, but yeah, looks better now. And for a third, probably that Metroid game on 3DS, because I think that was one of the few announcements where I thought, yeah, I'm going to pick that up this year.
I agree.
Nice.
Another quick question. Did you see enough games for your preferred platform that are coming in 2017 or 2018?
For the PS4, I don't think I did. Just because there's not really anything. I mean, there's games that are coming that we didn't see. I guess, like, Uncharted's coming, Crash is coming. Like, there's enough for me to pick up, but there wasn't enough for me to get excited about from E3. But Switch, I think, is doing pretty well with Mario Rabbids and Mario Odyssey coming really soon. Like, Rabbids in August is really good. And Splatoon 2 and Pokken. It's a pretty good year this year for Switch.
Yeah.
And Fire Emblem Warriors. It's an amazing first year.
Is that coming this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So if you think about all the exclusives they've had, so Zelda, Mario Kart, Splatoon, Pokken, Mario Rabbids, it's crazy.
I'm just worried for the drought that will come.
Well, I think that's why next year there'll be Pokemon, the Yoshi Kirby game, probably Smash Brothers.
Yeah, true.
Retro's game will be next. I'm predicting Retro's game will release Christmas next year.
We still don't know what that is. Could just be another Donkey Kong Country.
I don't think so.
Do you think it's Metroid Prime 4?
No, they've ruled it out.
Oh, have they? Okay.
It's an all-new development team, apparently, in Nintendo.
Wow.
Tam, your preferred
about you?
platform at the moment would be Switch now, wouldn't it? And you said you were pretty happy.
Yeah, mine would be Switch and PC.
PC. Any new games that you're definitely picking up this year on PC?
Age of Empires, Dave. Didn't you listen?
Apart from that.
Probably the new XCOM expansion. There wasn't actually that many PC announcements, but E3's never really been a PC thing.
No, it hasn't. But like a fair amount of the games are coming to PC.
Yeah.
Is Anthem coming to PC?
I assume so. Like
Yeah.
Destiny's on P. Actually, no, Destiny's not on PC. It's on PS4. But like Battlefront's
Destiny
on
2
PC
is now, though,
and all
isn't
that.
it?
Yeah, and Destiny 2 will be on PC. PC is pretty much a platform that doesn't have many exclusives.
Yeah, for me, preferred platform has to be PlayStation 4 these days, and yeah, we've talked about it throughout this podcast. It's been a repeat opinion that there is no games coming in this for the rest of this year. It's kind of disappointing. I'm just gonna have to make do with some of the multi-platform titles. I'm glad that there's still some 3DS titles coming that I can grab. But maybe I'm just going to answer this last question for myself because I've already asked you guys whether you wanted an Xbox One X. None of us are getting that. And you guys both already have a Switch. And maybe it's time I get one as well. Because there are quite a few games coming to Switch that I can definitely... I could pick one up with Mario Odyssey and have a lot to play. So
Yeah, I think like within the next few months is a really good time to pick up a Switch. I'm busy with Zelda at the moment, and like that will take up all my time until Splatoon, and so will ARMS whenever I want to play that.
And online's still free at the moment, so time to jump in.
Yeah.
Alright guys, we got through it. I'm not sure it went as short as we were hoping, but E3, you know, there's always a lot to go through for E3.
Yeah, I think we did well.
Yeah. Now the final thing we have to decide is, you know, how often are we going to do these podcasts for our one or two listeners that are actually going to listen to this when we link it on Discord, so we can let them know how often they can expect these. Should we just aim for one a month at least?
At least one a month.
Yeah, one a month maybe.
I reckon one a month to begin with, and if it goes well, maybe one a fortnight.
Do we have any big gaming shows coming up? Tokyo Game Show is not till later in the year, is it? Is it September from memory? Something like that.
Gamescom and Tokyo Game Show is about the same time, I think.
Yeah.
And then PSX in November or December?
Yeah, hard to remember. November, I
think
guess.
this would be November, right?
I don't think there's anything in December. It's a bad
Game
time
Awards.
to try and announce games.
Game Awards.
Oh, Game Awards.
Beautiful Game Awards presented by Jeff Keighley.
Does anyone actually care about the Game Awards?
I watch it every year. No.
I've actually never watched it.
They're getting better. Slowly.
I just watch all the trailers that come out after it. Yeah, so, you know, we'll aim to do one next month. I'm sure we can just gather bits of news for July and, yeah, have a chat. Maybe get another person in. I figured we'd just keep it the three of us for our E3 one because I know the three of us watch all of E3 and not many others do. We're a bit too dedicated. Anyway, thanks for hopping on, guys. I look forward to doing more of these because I have missed doing the Another Podcastle.
Yeah, it's been fun.
I haven't missed editing. That's still not going to be fun. But
Thank you, Dave.
I'll try to smash that out and get this up reasonably quick. All right. Till next time. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.